Happy Halloween! I'll be taking the kids trick-or-treating soon. Since this is England, I'll probably be one of the only adults in costume, but oh well. My older daughter's going as a bat, and my younger daughter kept changing her mind, so who knows what she'll be dressed as. To celebrate the spooky season, I wanted to remember some books that I really enjoyed as a kid, and that is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark by Alvin Schwartz. The first book was published in 1981, the second in 1984, and the third in 1991. These books were a huge part of my childhood. They were a major rite of passage when kids reached an age where they kind of wanted to make their own decisions about what they wanted to read and not just accept what parents and teachers and librarians assigned to them. We also really liked them as kids because our parents hated them. They thought they were creepy, they thought they were gross, they thought they were scary, and they absolutely were. And let's be honest, the fact that our parents hated these books was at least half the reason we read them. A huge part of what makes these books so fun to read are the horrifying illustrations by Stephen Gammell. They're executed in sketchy black and white charcoal, and they really bring out the creepiness of the stories. Part of what made these books so addictive, I think, is that they were published in an age before the internet and before social media. There was no Snopes. There was no quick and easy fact-checking. There was a whole lot of, well, so-and-so on the playground told me such and such, and you just kind of had to decide if you believed it or not. A lot of the stories in this book are creepy because there's no technology available to the people in the stories. The way our society is so connected today actually kind of hampers the ability to tell a good horror story. If you know that you can get help at the push of a button, well, it really doesn't make that creepy guy out in the yard quite so scary. That's why successful horror stories that are put out today tend to still put the characters in situations where cell phones and the internet just don't work. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark weren't just loved, though, because they were scary. They were also loved because they're fun. As the author himself said, telling scary stories is something people have done for thousands of years. For most of us, like being scared in that way. Since there isn't any danger, we think it's fun. This is completely true, and it applies to other genres beyond just stories. When the first proper heavy metal band Black Sabbath got together, a big part of how they chose their sound was the fact that they loved to go see scary movies at the theater. They told themselves, well, people pay a lot of money to go to the movies and get scared. Why can't we write music like that? It's a little bit fun. It raises the hairs on the back of your neck. It gives you that little thrill of adrenaline. And at the end of the day, it's fine. You're safe. It's all over. It's a fun adventure the same way that a superhero story might be. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark also includes songs. In fact, one of my very primitive songwriting efforts was to come up with a melody for some of the lyrics. Unfortunately, I can't really remember it, and I didn't write it down, but I do remember the fun I had kind of imagining this bouncy, sort of minor keyed melody to go along with these fun, gory, creepy lyrics. There's a nice variety of stories in all of the editions of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Some of them are jump stories, some of them are ghost stories, some are a little bit sad and strange, and some are just straight up jokes. One of the funniest ones, if it's told properly, is The Viper. That's where there's some kids in a house and they get the phone call that says, "I'm the Viper, I'm coming." And then eventually the Viper shows up and he's here to vipe the windows. I had a Girl Scout leader who really could tell that one well. And I remember laughing so hard once that I dropped a perfectly toasted marshmallow into the fire. And while I was sad I didn't get to eat the marshmallow, I still remember the laugh, so it must have been worth it. I'd like to hear from you what your favorite scary story to tell in the dark is. Or do you have a special memory about reading one of these 3 books? Did one of the illustrations make a special stamp on your memory? Did you get in trouble for getting caught under the blankets with a flashlight reading it when you were supposed to be in bed? Let me know, and happy Halloween.